This is a Mercy Girl production.
Hi viewers, this is Mac T, and we're back here at Xpress Lube in Davenport, Iowa, and we have, as you can see, our 2011 Ford Edge Cinnamon Metallic. Has 92,000 miles on it, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get a transmission flush done on this one because it has about 92,000 miles. So we'll introduce you to Gary and he'll explain what he's going to do. He's got a brand new transmission flush machine that he'll go through a step-by-step process and show you just how good this machine will change out your fluid for you on your Ford Edge using the Merc LV fluid that is required for this 6-speed transmission on the Ford Edge. We're going to do a full job here for you guys on the video. So they're filling the machine to do the flush. It takes about 12 quarts to do a flush. So now we're going to wheel it over there and hook it up. Over here. Stand back and watch what they do.
Yeah, with that tank probably. Yeah, they have that small little one. Yeah. What we're doing right now is measuring the tube to the dipstick length.
Point at him.
They're measuring the actual transmission flush tube to match the length of the dipstick, because you don't want to push the tube down in beyond where the dipstick goes, because you can get caught up in the gears of the transmission, so we don't want that. So we make sure that that's the right length before we put it into the transmission.
Okay.
And then once this thing, we don't power it up either. I like this thing. Oh, yeah, that definitely makes it easy.
Stabilizer a little.
All right, go ahead and put the power to her. Once we put the power to it, what will happen is the machine will prime itself.
Okay.
Okay, and what will happen is you'll see it starting to take transmission fluid up and through back to prime itself.
See, the machine's turning on. It's even got gears. I guess we're going to watch gears move.
Yes, you are. We have to wait for it to do its thing. See it? See it? Watch. Did you see it go up?
Yeah. Look at that dirty fluid. It's black. Is black a good color for transmission fluid?
No.
No?
No, it is not.
It's probably time then, wasn't it?
Yes.
So there you go, folks. Don't let your tranny go more than 90,000 miles. This is what your fluid looks like on your Ford Edge. Even though they say it's good for 150, I wouldn't trust it.
No. We saw power. It's just going through it right now.
So look at that window there, Mercedes. See how dirty that fluid is? And I'm sure the new stuff's going to come through. It's going there, and that's the old stuff. So you'll be able to see what's going on, I guess.
Yes.
The default is 12. And then you got to go select. There.
Thank you for watching, and remember to like my videos and subscribe to Mac T.
And away we go. See how it's flashing? It's starting to service now. We have 12 quarts in the system.
There we go. There the gears go. It must be the pump. See how the fluid changed, Mercedes? Nice.
That's the new. So it took some out to begin with.
It primed itself by sucking some of the old stuff. Now it's sucking the old out.
And what this helps do, you can actually see the old transmission fluid, but what this does is helps count volume for what it takes out and what it puts in. So it's it's visual, but you can
electromechanical measurement.
Yes.
Then is what it is. You figure the gears would be round though, wouldn't you, Mercy girl?
I guess.
Those aren't round gears though. Wonder why. But doesn't the fluid on the left side look better? That stuff looks like what? Motor oil.
Yeah. We had a. There we go.
And Ford actually says this is a 150-mile fluid.
150,000, yeah.
It's
150,000 miles.
Yeah.
I'm doubting that.
I would doubt that for myself. It's a fluid. It's hydraulic fluid, and hydraulic fluid breaks down just like motor oil does. It has a.
Probably go that far, but I probably wouldn't.
I would. They might.
Up him while he's talking.
They might be. You know, that might be what they recommend, but like hydraulic fluid has an additive package in it for transmission fluid. Okay, so over time it breaks down, and that additive package that's in there actually starts shearing off. So what it's doing is when you see the dark transmission fluid, what you're seeing is you're seeing all the little metal particles of the transmission suspended in the fluid. That's what you see. Okay? And so what happens is it starts losing its ability to lubricate, to cool, okay? Which are two very important things for the transmission to operate properly. So when you see your transmission fluid getting dark, that means it's getting to the real end of its life. That means once it can only hold so much metal shavings, that's it. It loses its ability to do what it was designed to do.
And then the tranny starts eating itself.
Exactly.
Now it says to start the engine. We're going to start the engine so the torque converter can now start rotating and pushing fluid out.
You mean the old one?
Clear.
We're clear.
Now I'm going to hit enter. And away she goes, and it'll go through the rest of the process now while the transmission is running, while the pump inside the transmission is running. So it's cleaning the torque converter and all the moving parts of the transmission, okay? And it will go through this process. It will suck out the dirty, it will put in the new. It will suck out the dirty, it will put in the new. So basically it's almost as if it is like a blood transfusion, okay? Which is an awesome way to clean your transmission. Again, this is always going to be a better way to service your transmission because it's going to clean everything as it's moving. Where if you were to take the transmission and just drain the fluid off, you're only getting about a third of your transmission fluid. So,
and as opposed to what some folks do with the transmissions, is you go in, you buy like 15 quarts. Or more, and then you like flush it out 5 quarts at a time, like 3 times. So then you're not really still getting as good. No. I mean, it's better than nothing, but
you're still, but you're more efficiently is doing it just like this.
Okay.
Definitely more efficient way to do it. And back in the day, everybody said, "Oh, just drop." You know, in the older cars, just drop the transmission pan and change the filter out and just put new fluid in.
Yeah.
Well, again, you were not capturing all of the dirt and the metal shavings with
I remember those days.
Yeah.
3 quarts in the pan if you're lucky. That's what I'm making.
I remember those days. So.
But we didn't have this technology then, you know, and now we do, and our cars benefit from it.
Yeah, the transmissions have changed dramatically though too.
Tremendously. And you know, this particular fluid that's in here is a full synthetic transmission fluid.
Yeah.
The LV fluid is a synthetic transmission.
I went to a lot of different car parts places, and to find this fluid is in the quantities, if you want to do it yourself, is almost impossible. They only have like 5 or 6 quarts on the shelf. That's all they got.
And so it's near impossible to get enough to do an adequate transmission flush, like what needs to happen with this.
You got to plan way ahead if you're going to do it yourself. But I think this is far easier. We were going to do it ourselves, but we just couldn't find the fluid, so we just gave up.
Yeah.
So let's go here and get it done. So makes the job a little easier for Mercy Girl, though.
It looks like blood right over there. And it looks dark.
It's like a strawberry syrup to you, don't it? Yeah. What does that stuff look like?
Raspberry.
You can think that it looks like strawberries, but it's transmission fluid, especially used nasty transmission fluid. Smells horribly.
No, it's black.
Now it's going back to red again.
Yeah.
As you can see the tube, it's putting in new transmission fluid right now. Now watch. When it's done doing that, it'll start sucking old fluid out again. Now watch.
There it goes.
There. Now see the fluid change direction? Now see it getting dark?
Trying the grapes.
One of these times it's actually going to stay red, we hope.
We hope so. We've still got roughly 5.5 quarts.
Have you ever done one of these where it still hadn't quite
Yes.
changed?
Yes.
It would require additional fluid to run through it?
Yes, and here's my opinion on this. When I tell a customer at 40,000 miles, when the manufacturer should suggest that you should change out your transmission fluid, they look at me and go, it's only got 40,000 miles on it. If they would change their transmission fluid when the manufacturer told them to change their transmission fluid, in most cases it would never get to that point. And so when you did a transmission flush, it would always service it correctly and it would look like brand new again. If you would do it when the manufacturer suggested, it would look decent in most cases. But most of the time what happens is folks allow it to get to a nasty point to begin with.
So what are you saying?
What I'm saying is what I'm saying.
You say it, I waited too long.
No. Like, I'm going to go look at your ticket because on our software, the manufacturer gives you the recommended interval for your antifreeze and for your transmission. And I'm going to go check that and just give you that number real quick. Okay. It's 150,000 miles. That's what Ford recommends. It's also 100,000 miles for your antifreeze.
Yeah. So. And, you know, this is 92,000 miles on it, and quite frankly, I think that's too long, you know, in my own opinion. But
and then you have to also consider driving conditions. There's no one driver that drives the same as another driver. And or if you're towing light, like for this, my Ford Edge has a towing package on it for towing light vehicles or light loads, okay? And that has an impact on your transmission. So there's a lot of variables to how your transmission fluid responds.
Now, if I put 90,000, like you know how I drive, 90,000 on this one would be different than the 90,000 it already has, more than likely.
More than likely, because your driving conditions are what I would consider severe. In other words,
all highway.
But but the transmission at that whole time, the transmission is in use that whole time.
Yeah.
So I mean, the longer you're on the road and the longer this thing's running, that transmission's running, and that fluid's running, and it's like a time clock. It just keeps ticking down and ticking down and ticking down.
I generally don't go much or past 90,000 on the tranny fluid.
But the reason you were able to get almost 300,000 miles out of your previous Ford Edge was because you serviced it and you took care of it.
Yeah, that's the key.
That is the major key. You cannot expect these things to last and run 300,000 miles and not service the transmissions, change the oil, change the coolant, swap out air filters, replace serpentine belts.
I thought that all the fluids were lifetime. You never had to change it, just buy the car and drive it.
No, that's not true at all.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, hear that? You have to maintain your car.
Yes.
You cannot expect it to last forever if you don't put any money into it.
That's right.
Then
Now,
you'll complain that it just broke.
absolutely. And there's recommendations. If you look in your owner's manual, there are recommendation intervals.
Looks like we're done.
Yay! It's half there.
There are recommendations for power steering fluid removal
Yep.
and swap, brake fluid, transmission, obviously, oil, and all those good things. But even like your differentials on this, I think your differentials on this are like 100,000 miles.
No, I just got the.
So you've got just the front wheel drive. If it was the all wheel drive, it has the rear differential.
Yeah, that
but
PTU.
Yep. But and for different types of services, for cleaning of your fuel injection system, they have an interval for that.
Yeah.
So
I must have got lucky because I never did that.
you must have.
Well, I tried to burn good gasoline in it though too. I used a lot of the top tier gas in it all the time. So,
that makes a difference because if you're one of those people that buy the cheapest fuel that they can find, sometimes that's not you get what you pay for.
yeah.
And some fuel is not refined as much as other fuels, like the high quality fuels, the high octane fuels, and the more expensive fuels. So I used to have a car that I would put the absolute cheapest gas I could find in it, and I got horrible mileage. When I ran better fuel, the better fuel, I got much better gas mileage.
Yeah.
Much better.
Now what he's going to do is he's going to show us just how nasty and dirty that stuff was, even though we saw it here.
Perfect.
Nice.
Where
and
you
clean.
are is you're in the middle basically of the cross hatches.
Yep.
And because this is hydraulic fluid,
It'll warm up.
It will warm up and expand, exactly.
Okay.
So we would never want to fill this initially. We'd never want to fill it all the way to the top because then it's got to expand and then your transmission. You're overfilled, which can cause problems with seals and gaskets and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So you always want to run your transmission fluid right where it's supposed to be. Were you satisfied with how the transmission fluid looked?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Nice and clean again. Maybe it'll shift better. Hey, nice close-up, lady. Well, folks, that is it. That is our, of course, our transmission flush. Now we're going to empty it out into the can and see what kind of mud we're going to get out of it.
Ugh. Is it gonna? Oh, that's a cup.
It's going to be mud. What do you think? Think Mercy Girl's gonna be mud? He's gonna put it right in there.
I think it's going to be slush.
You think so?
Maybe.
What if it just oozes out?
It'll be
I
applesauce.
don't think it'll be that bad.
It'll just be like dark cranberry juice.
So. Okay. Make sure that is secured. And we'll reach over here and we will grab. Hey, easy there.
Getting the new machine all dirty. What are the other guys gonna say?
I know. So we're going to hit select. It doesn't come out fast, Tom, like the other one did. It's nothing like that.
Here it comes.
There you go. Now what will happen, you'll see it'll start getting darker.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
There it is.
Yeah.
Doesn't that look good?
Strawberry jam, and then now cranberry dark ick. And I was
That's right.
trying
You
to
don't
chocolate.
push out as fast as the old one.
I was trying to chocolate with cranberries.
That actually looks thick.
I was gonna say, I
Yeah,
think you made a pretty
it
good call on that as far as having that change.
That's thick.
Yeah. Oh.
It even feels a little thick.
Yeah.
It's like, oh gosh, it smells. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh. That good.
Smells like a dead raccoon, don't it?
Yep.
How do you know what a dead raccoon smells
Way
like?
dead. way dead.
I don't know. It smells like a
You
skunk.
can imagine though, huh?
It smells like a skunk, Dad. It smells like a skunk.
Look how thick that is.
Oh, it smells like a skunk almost.
Looks like syrup.
Yeah.
Dad, it's mixed
Even
up.
not.
Now, can you imagine you're at 90-some thousand miles?
Yeah.
Can you imagine going 150,000 miles on that? I think not. You would. There's a good chance that you could fry your transmission by allowing it to go beyond this
It
point.
wasn't feeling like it was shifting really like I wanted it to. I actually having to give it more gas to make it shift, and it just didn't feel like the 08. So, of course, it's a little different, but overall, yeah, that definitely needed to be changed for sure. I'll probably have to here in the near future bring the other 2011 in and have it done.
You like that smell?
Well, you know what she's going to be doing next is we're going to Rock Island, and I bought, in the back, I got all new rotors and brake pads.
Oh yeah?
And I bought the high carbon steel rotors.
You gonna do an
painted,
instructional?
that you don't have to do nothing to.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I bought the ceramic pads, the full high quality ceramic pads.
Those are nice.
Yep.
Altogether, it's like $400 for the parts. For the parts.
Did you get them off eBay?
No, I went to AutoZone and got them.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm sure I got them on eBay cheaper, but I wanted to get it done.
Well, that the fact, you know, if you've got a problem with them and you go to send them back to eBay, there's a problem where you can hold somebody's feet to a fire here. If you went to AutoZone, there's a problem.
Yeah, I can go right to them.
Yep.
Because I just want to take and get that done.
It'll stop here on its own. It'll stop and then the alarm will sound. But it's finally done emptying the tank.
But I'm gonna go AutoZone and buy some brake fluid because I figure I forgot how much brake fluid that thing holds. I figure I'd buy 2 bottles. This would be about right. Well, bleed it out.
No.
Watch, videotape down there. Here you go.
Ready?
No large chunks of
Oh God! Oh!
You got a sensitive nose. Alright.
I can still smell it. I can't get out. It's tight.
Hey, Bill, see a lot of sediment? You know, this is what people don't see either. See in the bottom of the can? See what this is? This is actual metal shavings. And watch this.
See that?
See that?
It's metal. That was there before.
Yes, that's not from your transmission. But, you know, just from draining, you know, what happens is that's what's in the transmission.
Tranny fluid here, and of course Gary's going to have something last minute to say on it, but we're going to close it out for now because we got to go put brakes on this thing.
Now this should last you, Bill. This should last you roughly another 50 to 100,000 miles before. I mean, I would never go the 150,000. I just don't think it's. I don't think it's good. It's good maintenance as an owner. You know, transmissions are very expensive. This is very inexpensive compared to a new transmission.
Cheap insurance.
Absolutely. So you should be good. And this is full synthetic transmission fluid, and I hope she shifts like she should.
There we go.
Okay.
We'll try her out.
All right, buddy. Let's.
Now we got to settle up the last thing. We won't videotape that.
Thank you for watching, and remember to like my videos and subscribe to Mac T.